चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन नमः ओम विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी निधि नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देश तारणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। मुखं करोति वाचालं पंगुं लंघयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरु दीनतारिणं परमानंद माधवं श्री चैतन्य ईश्वरम्।
Prabhuji, one small request, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, I had received an email from BBRV, but unexpectedly I deleted that, Prabhuji. Can you forward that again? There was a document with that email, if I'm right. Some
I feel
presentation.
this the Bhagavad-Gita first 6 chapters open book and closed book assessment result that you are talking.
No, just yesterday I had received, Prabhuji. I don't know what it was. By mistake I deleted it and it's gone. So
I will just
not
check
able to...
whether they had kept me in CC. Then if it is there, then I will be sending it today only. Yes.
Yes, Prabhu. If you have it, please forward it to me, Prabhu.
Yes. After the class, I will just share it to you.
Yeah.
So 12.10. Abhyasepya samarthosi.
Abhyasepya samarthosi.
Matkarma paramo bhava.
Matkarma paramo bhava.
Madartham api karmani.
Madartham api karmani.
Kurvan siddhim avapsasi.
Kurvan siddhim avapsasi.
Yes, please go on reading this.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, I will read.
Yeah, just I will do one thing.
Sorry, Prabhu. I got it, Prabhuji. Sorry. Praveen Prabhu is also there in that email. I got it. It is open book and closed book assessment for unit 1, Prabhuji. I got it. Yeah. Thank you,
Yes,
Prabhuji. Sorry, Prabhu.
Okay, I'll read it. Link Vishnu Chakra. As the tongue contaminated by jaundice does not like sugar candy, so the mind contaminated by ignorance does not accept your form, even though it is sweet. Therefore, it is not possible for me to combat this very strong, uncontrollable mind. If you should think in this way, then I answer with these words. Baldev Vidyabhushan. As the mind is fickle like the wind, I do not have the power to restrain it.
Yes. So this is a study where we are standing in shloka number 10. First one in 8, Krishna talked about perform devotional service. Then in the 9th, he just talked about follow the regulative principles of Bhakti Yoga. If you are not able to do that, at least to follow the sadhana bhakti. Then the 10th is the work for Krishna. So that is the main theme now. Then afterwards, it will be built up 11th and 12th also. So the Krishna is giving many choices, but the first choice is that perform devotional service. Then, okay, at least follow some regulative principles of sadhana bhakti. Not at least work for me. Means it is a nishkama. Nishkama karma. Somebody can read this.
This slide, Prabhu?
Yes.
Starting on the left side, come from 8, 9, 10 or just the right side?
Yeah.
Okay, 8.
8, 9, 10.
Yeah, 8. Perform devotional service. If one cannot do it, then 9. Follow the regulative principles of Bhakti Yoga. If one cannot, then 10. Work for Krishna. How to perform work for Krishna based on 11.55. Sympathetic to the propagation of Krishna consciousness movement. 1. Every endeavor needs land, capital, organization, labor, like any other business. to can help build a temple, help in publication, etc. If one cannot sacrifice the results of his activities, at least sacrifice some percentage of his results.
What is
Engage all sense-
what is 11.55? Somebody can recite this shloka.
Matkarmo Matkarma krin matparmo madbhakta sangarjita nirvel sarvabhuteshu yasamameti pandava.
Translation.
Translation, Prabhuji. My dear Arjuna, he who engages in my pure devotional service, free from the contaminations of fruitive activities and mental speculation, he who works for me, who makes me the supreme goal of his life, and who is friendly to every living being, he certainly comes to me.
So, so these are the three circles are there. This is like the 11.55. Engage all external circles for the working for Krishna, work for Krishna, and the benefit is you will come to the perfect stage. So the 11.55, it is the working for Krishna. This shloka is, and these three circles which are intercepting each other, they are actually mentioning the same thing. Yeah, please go on reading.
Translation 12.10. If you cannot practice the regulations of Bhakti Yoga, then just try to work for me, because by working for me, you will come to the perfect stage. Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur translation. If you are unable to practice in this manner, then perform transcendental services for me. Performing activities for my pleasure, you will attain perfection. Baldev Vidyabhushan translation. If you are unable to practice in this manner, then perform your activities for me, taking that as the goal of your life. Performing activities for my pleasure, you will attain the association with me.
We are seeing always this people, no? That there are at least 12.9 has to be followed by the ISKCON practicing devotees. That is the shloka for the ISKCON practicing devotees, those who are doing the sadhana bhakti. 12.8 is for the advanced stage of the devotees. 12.10, those who cannot practice the sadhana bhakti principles, at least they can work for Krishna. These people can be called as a well-wisher. Mostly these people are the well-wishers, and they cannot adopt some principles in their lives, but they can work for Krishna and give some percentage of that for Nishkama Karma Yoga. They can do it. And these species are somewhat rare nowadays, because the people always are hankering for the Sakama Karma Yoga, Nishkama Karma Yoga, and whatever we are actually following in Krishna consciousness, some extent 12.9 and 12.10. We are working for Krishna, not expecting the results, and we are trying to adopt the this sadhana bhakti in our life. So ISKCON devotees can be called as a mixture of this too. The sadhana bhaktas can be called as a mixture of this, because we are not hankering or we are not after Krishna that please give us something. We are trying to work for Krishna. Whenever we are like the grahasthas are there in their company, they have to follow this 12.10 more. Work for Krishna, not expecting anything. This is not to give. We are trying to give, not asking Krishna to give something. And then 12.9 is whenever grahastha devotees or any devotee, they are rendering services inside the temple, they are practicing the devotional life inside the home. So 12.9 is a fit shloka for that. So this is the combination where we can expect ourselves to be. And our aspiration is 12.8. Yes.
Srila Prabhupada. One not able to follow regulative principles can still attain perfection by working for Krishna. How to do that? Already described in Bhagavad-Gita 11.55. One should be sympathetic to the propagation of Krishna consciousness. Example, if one has sufficient money, one can help in building an office or temple to spread Krishna consciousness. 2. Can help with publications. 3. Sacrifice some percentage to propagate Krishna consciousness if unable to offer results of activities. 3. Devotees engaged in propagating Krishna consciousness need help in the form of 1. Land, some places to stay. 2. Capital to use. 3. Organization to expand. 4. Labor, just like any business. 4. Difference between Krishna conscious and business. In materialism, one works for sense gratification. In Krishna conscious, one works for Krishna.
So this is the thing they can offer: the land, the capital income, organization to expand the preaching activities, and they can do some voluntary services also. So majority these people can offer their capital, their Lakshmi, because these you people are doing something good. I am not able to do that, but I will be supporting you. So my hard-earned money, I will be utilizing and handing over to you people, those who are Krishna conscious devotees. Please use it as per your will in a service of Krishna. So that way, it is a good combination, where sometimes the grahasthas, they are not having a time to spend in a temple or to render some services. So it is recommended that, highly recommended that these people, those who are the grahasthas, they are not having, their job schedule is so much tight, but they are having this inclination that, okay, I can use my resources in the service of Krishna. So either any of the resources you can just think of. How can I use this resource for the service of Krishna? There is one person in a Magarpatta city here in Pune. He is a devotee from Chopadi congregation. He just asked us that I am having one row house there in Magarpatta city, very costly area in Pune. So better you people can start some center there, and this my row house will be there for 3 years, free of cost. So it comes under the land, and some people are giving us some Lakshmi, that monthly 10,000 rupees I can give. I am having much better facilities for myself. I am the landlord, so I can just give 10,000 rupees per month. So one department or a dhoop seva of the Lord can be managed. So like that, these people are thinking that I am not able to contribute physically. Let's use my resources. Somehow or other, this preaching can go on. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur.
Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. Mat karma paramaha. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. Become engaged in my supreme activities, in activities meant for the highest benefit. Baldev Vidyabhushan. Be a person whose activities being offered to me lead to the highest goal. Karmani kurvan. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. Doing services such as hearing and singing about me, bowing to me, worshipping me, sweeping and washing my temple, picking flowers. Even without remembrance of me, as previously described, you will attain perfection, Siddhim. Characterized by being one of my associates in Prema. These are external activities of Bhakti. Baldev Vidyabhushan. Such activities are described as building my temple and watering my flower garden. Ramanuja. Such devotional acts consist in the construction of temples, laying out temple gardens, lighting up lamps therein, sweeping, sprinkling water, and plastering the floor of holy shrines, gathering flowers, engaging in my worship, chanting my names, circumambulating my temples, praising me, prostrating before me, etc. Do these with great affection. Madiyani karmani.
No need to
read that. Okay, bro. Okay, bro.
So this is like the Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur Pad and Ramanuja. Baldev Vidyabhushan Pad and Ramanujacharya, they are speaking the same line. There's construction of the temple and the gardening and lighting up the lamps. So these are the Madhyanija Karma. Sridhar Swami.
Sridhar Swami, be solely devoted to rites which are meant to please me, like fasting on Ekadashi, observing other vows, and singing my name. Even by doing these rites for my sake, you will attain the supreme goal. Baldev Vidyabhushan. When you do these activities which are easily performed on my behalf, by the power of directing all those activities to my very attractive form, your mind will become absorbed in me, that attractive form, and you will attain a position close to me. Siddhim.
Yeah. So Baldev Vidyabhushan, Sridhar Swami, and Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur Pad, they are saying that doing some activities for the pleasure of the Lord's form, that is really important. And everybody is claiming that this is like the Lord is appearing in the form, and for whole the society, like the temple community, the devotees community, they have to render some services in the presence of the Lord for the pleasure of the Lord. So by that, this shloka 12.10, even if somebody is doing, like we are seeing some volunteers are helping in the gardening seva here, and they are not taking any Lakshmi. They say that we are having this experience of doing the gardening. So these people are fitting inside this 12.10 only, because they are not chanting the Hare Krishna, but they would like to do some service. They are not actually able to follow the regulatory principles which are mentioned in the 12.9, but they are trying to worship the way that like the Krishna has mentioned in the 12.10. So this is the offering our service, offering our resources, offering what we can offer with our capabilities. Kayena mansa, with our body, with our mind, with our resources, with our intelligence. That is the 12.10. Athe dattapashaksosi kartum madhyogam ashrita sarva karma phalatyagam tatak kuru yata atmavan. Class में
Somebody else can read it.
class मध्ये
Hare Krishna Prabhu, can I?
क्लास मध्ये लोकांना बाकीच्या लोकांना विचार. Yeah, please.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, can I read?
Yeah, please.
Translation 12.11. If, however, you are unable to work in this consciousness of me, then try to act giving up all results of your work and try to be self-situated. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur's translation. If you cannot do this, take shelter of dedicating all prescribed actions to me. While controlling your mind, act with detachment from the results of the work. Baldev Vidyabhushan translation. If you cannot do this, take shelter of my protective nature. While controlling your mind, act with detachment from results of the work. Hare Krishna.
So this shloka is also the further explanation of the Nishkam Karma Yoga. And this is like, this also fits under the category of the Nishkam Karma Yoga. But 12.10, acting for the pleasure of the Krishna, and 12.10 is acting for the pleasure of Krishna, and 12.11 is whether he is acting for the pleasure of Krishna or not, but he is renouncing the results for himself. Again, the lowering down. The first one is 12.10 was acting for the pleasure of Krishna, means not expecting the results for oneself. And at 12.11 is acting not for oneself, but for Krishna or not, it is the question. He is not enjoying his results. Yeah, please.
Those who are qualified for both internal and external are most outstanding. Bhakti, being fixed through internal senses. Smaranatmika Bhakti, Mayeva Manadatsva, 12.8. Mananatmika Bhakti, Mai Buddhim Nivesaya. Abhyasa Rupa Bhakti, Abhyasa Yogena Tato, 12.9. Here, being fixed through external senses, hearing and chanting services. Madartham Karmani Kurvam, 12.10. For those who cannot do above, Nishkama Karma Yoga. Mad Yoga Masrita, Sarva Karma Falatyagam, 12.11.
So, Mad Yogam Ashrita, he may be having some devotion for me, but he may not be offering that all the things to me, but he is not enjoying for himself. That is another thing. Yes.
Practitioner of this verse. What he is unable to do, Baldev Vidyabhushan. If you or others are not able to do these activities, such as cleaning my temple, which are very easy and pleasing to me, if you are prevented by obstacles such as being the leader of a great family. Srila Prabhupada. It may be that one is unable to even sympathize with the activities of Krishna consciousness because of social, familial, or religious considerations, or because of some other impediments. Objection from family members, some other impediments. What he should do? Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakura. Taking shelter of the process of offering all your actions to me, Madhyogam Asrita. Give up all the results of your actions as described in the first 6 chapters, Karma Yoga. Baldev Vidyabhushan. Take shelter of protective nature and Madhyogam Asrita. Perform all activities with renunciation of the results with controlled mind. Yatatmava.
So how it is like that, like somewhat difficult to understand. Mad Yogam Ashrita. Offering all your actions to me means practically these people are not able to follow the spiritual practices or the rules. They are not actually able to work for Krishna because of some hurdles in family life and many others. Somebody is not really favoring that. So in a mind, they may be offering that. In a mind, they are longing for that. In a mind, they are working for that. It's like, oh Krishna, whatever the activities I have done it, that there are so many limitations are there, but I am offering the results in the mind. That may be the case. That is the case where here, because they are not practically able to offer the results. They are not practically able to show that they are offering the results, or they are working for the pleasure of Krishna.
Srila Prabhupada. Sacrifice the accumulated result of his activities to some good cause. Example given in Vedic rules, offering one's previous actions by sacrifices and special functions on full moon day, etc. Example, one not interested to activities of Krishna consciousness may give charity to some hospital or some other social institution. Giving up fruits of activities, purification of mind, understanding of Krishna consciousness. Krishna consciousness doesn't require all this, but this is only for someone having impediments accepting Krishna consciousness. In that respect, social service, community service, national service, sacrifice for one country, etc., may be accepted, so that someday he may come to Krishna consciousness.
Yeah, so that these people may end up with this social services, that and from the social services, they may come to the Krishna conscious activities by starting their offering to Krishna in the mind. So initially they may be offering their results to the Krishna in the mind, or some other Devi Devata in the mind, and they may be doing some social activities. So they are not enjoying their results. They are offering the results to somebody else, and that somebody else they are not clear with. 12.10, that person was clear for the Krishna, working for the pleasure of Krishna. 12.11, he is not having the clarity of understanding, working for whom, but they are not enjoying their own results. At least this stand, means like the social service, Krishna has not condemned it fully, but he has not encouraged also. What is his best stand? He has explained in a 12.8, 8, 9, 10, then 11.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, one question I have. So does this mean that somebody doesn't want to help any Krishna conscious activities, but they do Manava Seva, which is like giving charity and all that, but that means they will incur some reactions to it, which will get them some spiritual credits, and because Krishna is not there, they'll go to higher planets and come back again. It's not helping them come out of the cycle. Correct, Prabhu?
Yeah, they will not, they will be bound with the reactions, good results, bad reactions. Like bad activities, bad results. So that is there. That actually Krishna is not denying that. But Krishna is saying that it is one of the category. It is good that these people are working for somebody else's reason. It's like they are not working for themselves. They are not selfish. At least they are better than those who are selfish, those who are working for oneself.
Okay, Prabhu. Thank you.
Yeah, Baldev Vidyabhushan, how bhakti will arise?
The performance of fire sacrifice and full moon sacrifices devoid of desire for results. Knowledge arises within the person like the lotus arising from the muddy water. One realizes one's position as servant and Paramatma's position as master. Then one realizes the supreme position of the Lord. Gradually, supreme bhakti will manifest. Hare Krishna.
So this is the sequence. It happens. Performance of fire sacrifices on full moon day, and then the knowledge will arise within the person like the lotus arising from the muddy water. Then one realizes one position as a servant. This is the way the people progresses, working or doing a sacrifice for others, from the social service to the devotional life, how they come. One day they will be coming.
Performance of Nishkama Karma, knowledge, realization, God realization, supreme bhakti. Reference, Srila Prabhupada, Baldev Vidyabhushan, Ramanuja. Yata pravirtirbhutanam yena sarvam idam tatam swakarmana tamabhyacha siddhim vindati manavaha. By worship of the Lord, who is the source of all living beings and who is all pervading through performing his own duties, a man can attain perfection. Bhagavad-Gita 18.46. Madbhaktim labate param. He will attain supreme bhakti to me. Bhagavad-Gita 18.54.
Yeah. So this we will not be taking, but this is the same thing. Perform devotional service 8. Then if not, then follow the regulative principles of the Bhakti Yoga. If not, then work for Krishna. If one cannot do, then at least try to give up all results of your work and be self-situated. So, and then the next sloka will be added in that. 12.12. Shreyo hi jnanam abhyasat
Shreyo
श्रेयो हि ज्ञानमभ्यासात्
jnanadhyanam vishishyate
ज्ञानं विशिष्यते
dhyanat karma phalatyagas
ध्यानात् कर्मफलत्यागः
tyagat shanti manantaram.
अनन्तरम्
Link and translation somebody can read.
Somebody
Hare
else.
Krishna. Prabhuji, can I read? Hare Krishna. Link Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. In this verse, the Lord makes clear the successive superiority of Abhyasa, Manana and Smarana, meditation mentioned previously. Baldev Vidyabhushan, this verse praises Karma Yoga without seeking results because it is easy to perform, can be done with full attention, and contains the seeds of knowledge. If you cannot take to this practice, then engage yourself in the cultivation of knowledge. Better than knowledge, however, is meditation, and better than meditation is renunciation of the fruits of action. For by such renunciation, Prabhuji, I'm not able to see after that.
Yeah, that is not there. Unfortunately, this is not been. You can read from your book if you can, the remaining line, or somebody else would like to read the remaining line.
Renunciation of the fruits of action, for by such renunciation one can attain peace of mind.
Yes. So,
Should
this
I
one is-
continue this?
yeah, please. Yes.
Bhagavad-Gita 12.10. If you cannot engage all external senses for working for Krishna, then Bhagavad-Gita 12.12, engage yourself in cultivation of knowledge. Brahma-gnana, knowledge of soul different from the body. Bhagavad-Gita 12.12, better than knowledge, however, is meditation. Yogic meditation by which one will realize the super soul. Bhagavad-Gita 12.12, better than meditation is renunciation of the fruits of action for Krishna. Bhagavad-Gita 12.12, benefits of such renunciation is attaining peace of mind.
Okay. So, better than the meditation is the renunciation of the fruits of action, and that actions are for the Krishna. So again, this 12.11, better than the meditation is renunciation of the fruits of action, and it is for Krishna or not, but the meditation and the cultivation of the knowledge. Cultivation of the knowledge means it gives this idea that, okay, there is a supreme personality of Godhead, and then started meditation on him. And 12.11 also speaks about the renunciation of the fruits, but he is not clear to whom to give the fruits. But here in 12.12, it is clear that you should give the fruits to the Krishna. But if you are not able to give, but you have to give to somebody else. So this 12.12 is somewhat jumbling shloka, where to whom to give, or but then it is like the foundation is that to cultivate the knowledge. And after you cultivate the knowledge here, the like the green pillar, it is mentioned that engage yourself in the cultivation of the knowledge, and by that it will happen that you will start the meditation. on the meditation of, is like the yogic meditation. And then you will renounce your activities, or you will be renouncing the fruits. And then you will be finally having the peace of mind. So it is not having any connection with the devotional service. It is a yogic and a jnanic process. So the 12.8, where it is the devotional service, that you are not able to do, then do the sadhana bhakti, then you are not able to do that, then you are trying to give up this activity and working for the Krishna, like you are not taking the results, but you are working for Krishna. Then it is 12.10, it is you are not working for Krishna, but you are working for somebody else, 12.11. And then if that is not possible, at least try to get some knowledge where you can become jnani, and then slowly you will be renouncing those activities and fruits of activities. This we will not be seeing. Okay, this translation.
Translation 12.12. If you cannot take to this practice, then engage yourself in the cultivation of knowledge. Better than knowledge, however, is meditation, and better than meditation is renunciation of the fruits of action. For by such renunciation, one can attain peace of mind. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur translation. Manana is better than practice, but meditation is better than manana. From meditation, one easily becomes detached from the results of work in the form of bhukti and mukti. From this detachment, one finally attains lasting peace, absorbing his senses only in me. Baldev Vidyabhushan translation. Realization of Atma is preferable to practicing remembrance of the Lord, but practice of meditation on Atma is preferable to realization of Atma. Preferable to practice of meditation is renunciation of the results of work. From this detachment, one finally gets purity. Srila Prabhupada, two kinds of devotional service described in flowchart below. A, way of full attachment in love to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, topmost. B, way of regulative principles. C, what if one is even unable to follow principles of Krishna consciousness? 1. Better to cultivate knowledge, self-realization, meditation, understanding Supreme Personality of Godhead gradually. 1. What kinds of processes are there in this? A. One himself is the Supreme. Ahangrahopasana. 2. If unable to meditate, perform prescribed duties. 3. Given in the last chapter of Bhagavad-Gita, A. In all cases, one must give up results of labor.
So A and B is 8 and 9, and the C is at 12.12. Yeah.
Srila Prabhupada, two paths to attain a Supreme Personality of Godhead. A. Direct. 1. Devotional service in Krishna consciousness, as described above, regulative principles, full attachment. B. Gradual development. 1. Renouncing the fruits of one's activities leads to knowledge, meditation, understanding Supersoul, and understanding Supreme Personality of Godhead. C. Either of the two processes can be taken. 1. For Arjuna, indirect path is not recommended. He is already at the stage of loving devotional service. 2. Bhagavad-Gita stresses the direct method.
Yeah. So the 8, 9, and 10, 12.8, 9, and 10, these are the direct processes, and 11 and 12 is gradual development or indirect. This is a diagram where we are seeing that, but we will not be going to this. This also is not required. Almost done. this will come to you. This, like, I will be sending this PPT to you. So 12.13 onwards we will be seeing now.
Prabhuji, should I continue reading this? Okay.
Yeah. Please go on, ready.
Srila Prabhupada, coming again to the point of PDS. The
Pure
Lord is
devotional service.
describing pure devotional service. The Lord is describing the transcendental qualifications of a pure devotee in these two verses. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, what is the description of the devotee who has attained such peace? In response to this question, the different natures of many types of devotees are described in 8 verses. Baldev Vidyabhushan, having described the difference in sadhana between the Ekanta Bhaktas, such as the Parinishtita Bhaktas and the Nirapeksha Bhaktas, and those who are not Ekanta Bhaktas, the Sanishthas, the Lord now presents the qualities common in all of them in 7 verses. Sridhar Swami, the characteristics of such a devotee that quickly lead to divine grace are being stated in 8 verses.
Yeah. So now these are the 8 verses. Why this has started? Because 12.8 and 12.9, Krishna has mentioned about the pure devotional service, sadhana bhakti, and the pure devotional service. So what are the qualities as per the 2.55 onwards? Arjuna is asking, who are these people with whom you are just talking about? They are the pure devotees. The same line, 12.13 onwards to 12. Up to 12.20, Krishna is mentioning about the qualities of these people. Advaishta sarva bhutanam.
Advaishta sarva bhutanam.
Maitra karuna evacha.
Maitra
Karuna evacha.
Nirmamo nirahankara.
Nirmamo
Nirahankara.
Samadukha sukhakshami.
Samadukha
Sukshami.
Santushta sakatam yogi.
Santushta satatam yogi.
Yatatma drudha nishchayah.
Yatatma drida nishchaya.
Mayyarpita mano buddhir.
Mayyarpita mano buddhir.
Yo mad bhakta same priyah.
Yo mad
Bhakta same priyaha.
There are some quick slides are there. Please go on reading.
One who is not envious, but is a kind friend to all living entities.
Who is he?
Brugari.
Murugari.
Who
Yeah.
does not think himself a proprietor and is free from false ego.
Who is he?
the king of Puri Prabhu.
King Prataparudra.
Yeah.
Who is equal in both happiness and distress, who is tolerant, always satisfied.
Who is he?
Sukadeva Goswami.
Yeah. In the Bhagavatam, his qualities are described, and these are qualities are matching in the Gita also. Like, such a devotee of mine is very dear to me. Yeah, translation.
Translation 12.13 to 14. One who is not envious but is a kind friend to all living entities, who does not think himself a proprietor and is free from false ego, who is equal in both happiness and distress, who is tolerant, always satisfied, self-controlled, and engaged in devotional service with determination, his mind and intelligence fixed on me, such a devotee of mine is very dear to me. Baldev Vidyabhushan translation, that devotee who is without hatred to any person, friend to all living entities, merciful, without possessiveness, without false identification with his body, who is equal in happiness and distress, tolerant, satisfied with what comes of its own accord, constantly fixed in Guru's teaching. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, constantly engaged in Bhakti Yoga, sense controlled, fixed in determination, with mind and intelligence offered to me, is dear to me.
So here, Prahlad Maharaj is best example for this shloka. Yeah, please. Advaishta.
Advaishta, 1. A person does not have hatred even for those who hate oneself. Ramanujacharya, he never hates any being even though they hate him and do him wrong. For he thinks that the Lord impels these beings to hate him and do him wrong for atoning for his transgressions. Advaishta Sarva Bhutana.
You need to recite the shloka. Please go on. Maitra.
Prabhuji, Maitra, okay. Maitra, rather one has friendliness towards them, Maitra. 2. Baldev Vidyabhushan, he shows affection, Maitra, towards them since they are also the abode of the Supreme Lord. C. Karuna, 1. One is merciful to them, thinking that they should not end up in unfortunate circumstances, Karuna. 2. Sridhar Swami, for the above 3, bearing no malice towards people who are superior, friendly towards equals, and compassionate towards juniors.
Yeah. So all the words we are please shortly summarizing what exactly that means. Advaishta Sarva Bhutana Maitra Karuna Evacha Nirmama Nirahankara. Now, what is that?
Maitra Karna Evacha.
Nirmama Nirahankara. Please go on reading.
Nirmama Nirahankara. One should not make distinctions at all. By non-possessiveness of children and wife, Nirmama. By not thinking of the body as the self, Nirahankara. By devotee, my devotee never develops hatred towards others. 2. Why should he accept such distinctions if he wants to reduce suffering produced from hatred? A distinction. 3. Baldev Vidyabhushan, he is devoid of possessiveness of objects or body, Nirmama, thinking that those things are transformations belonging to Prakriti, not to oneself. 1. Ramanujacharya, he is free from the feeling of mind, that is, he is not possessive with regard to his body, senses, and all things associated with them. Number 2, he is free from the feeling of I, that is free from the delusion that his body is the self.
So Nirmama means not actually having the possessiveness of this relationships, and Nirahankara, he is not thinking about the body. Samadukha Sukhakshami.
Samadukha Sukham.
Sukham.
Samadukha Sukham. It is said by Lord Shiva, Narayana Parasarve, Na Kutaschana Bibhyati, Swaraga Swarga Pavarga. Thus, one should consider happiness and distress equally, Samadukha Sukham. Moreover, that person thinks that he should necessarily endure his prarabdha karmas. Srila Prabhupada, he does not attach much importance to the pains and trouble pertaining to the body because he knows perfectly well that he is not the material body. Number 2, he does not identify with the body, therefore he is freed from the conception of false ego and is equipoised in happiness and distress. Number 3, he doesn't become his enemy's enemy. A. Reference Srimad Bhagavatam 10.14.8 Tatte Nukampam Susamikshamano Bhunjana Evatma
Vipakam. So Sukha, Samadukha, Sukham, this two shlokas are there. Tattenukampa Sukhamishmanam. And then Narayana Parasarve na Kutashana Bhagati Swargadapada Narkeshu Apitulya Sadavsana. He is equipoise, where Gita is also talking about don't walk on the path of Dvandva. Sukha Dukha Same Krutva Labha Labho Jaya Jayo. Here it is mentioned in Gita 2nd chapter. So be equipoise in a Sukha and Matra Sparshis Konteya. Shitoshna Sukha Dukkada Agama Apaino Anitya Stantiksha Subharata. Somebody else can go on reading this.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, can I read?
Yes, Hare Krishna.
Number 4, Lord's Mercy. Whenever a devotee is in distress or has fallen into difficulty, he thinks that it is the Lord's mercy upon him. Number 5, my misdeeds. He thinks, this person is acting as my enemy due to my own past misdeeds. So it is better to suffer than to protest. Number 6, token punishment. I should be suffering much more, but Krishna is showering his mercy upon me and giving me just the token reaction. Therefore, he is always calm, quiet, and patient despite many distressful conditions.
The first picture it is been shown here, Shamik Rishi and Parikshit Maharaj. And Parikshit Maharaj is the example of everything. Lord's mercy, my mistakes, and token punishment. He accepted the punishment. He accepted it is like the Lord's mercy. He accepted it is like my misdeeds, so that's why I'm suffering. Shami.
Number 1, in being equal to happiness and distress, he should be tolerant of the suffering. Shami. Number 2, Shami means having tolerance, coming from the root sham, meaning to endure. Number 3, Ramanuja. He is enduring, unaffected even by those two, that is pleasure and pain, due to the inevitable contact of sense objects.
What this picture is? Anybody would like to judge it? Or it is, if it is difficult, then you can next time you can take a photograph and tell me by SMS. Anybody would like to give a try? Okay. We will go on. Please take a photograph and send me the message. Hare Krishna. Padma Mataji, you are answering?
That is that Sanskrit, this one, reading or what is that?
What?
The question is not clear.
Question is
You are
not clear.
asking us to read the.
Yeah,
Sanskrit.
whose picture it is?
Whose
Have
picture?
you come across this picture before?
Shringi
Would
Prabhuji.
you like to give a try for
And
that?
his friends.
Shringi
Yeah.
Prabhuji.
He was not tolerant. Yes, Shringi only. It's very good. Santushta.
Santushta. He is satisfied to eat what comes of its own accord or with very little effort. Srila Prabhupada, satisfied with whatever comes by my grace of the Lord. He does not endeavor much to achieve something with great difficulty, therefore he is always joyful. Number 3, Ramanuja. He is content, namely satisfied with whatever he gets for the sustenance of his body.
So here, this photo is of Sudama Vipra, the Brahman friend of Lord. he was santushta. Even though the wife was saying that, why are you just wasting your life like this? Your friend is a Krishna. He is a Lakshmi Pati. Why can't you go and ask him something? So Sudama went there, but was not in a mood of asking, and he was not having a desire to ask to Krishna, but he wanted to see and take a darshan of Krishna. So that's why he went. So he was satisfied, whatever the situation Krishna put him in. So that was the nature of the pure devotee. Santushta Satatam Yogi. Satatam Yogi.
Satatam Yogi. That person is constantly engaged in Bhakti Yoga, Satatam Yogi. He is acting for the purpose of attaining perfection in Bhakti. He will express satisfaction because it is helpful for him to execute Bhakti Yoga.
Yeah. So here the same picture, the Sudama Brahman, who is a friend of Krishna. He is Satatam Yogi. He was always meditating on Krishna. And that way, one can become a Santushta. Whatever the situation, external situation one may be in. But if he is constantly remembering Krishna, then he will not be afflicted by the miseries, external miseries for his body and the circumstances. Okay, this we will not be taking. Oh, this is very important. Yatatma.
Yatatma. Moreover, if by chance he does not attain his required food, his mind is restrained. Yatatma. It is without agitation. Ramanuja controls the activities of his mind. Name it manovritti. Dhrida nishchaya. Even if his mind happens to become disturbed, he does not resort to Ashtanga Yoga or other processes to bring about peace. He remains convinced that he should only perform Ananya Bhakti, Drid Nishchaya. His devotion does not become weakened. Baldev Vidyabhushan. He is firmly convinced, Dhrida Nishchaya, thinking constantly that he is the servant of Hari, so that challengers cannot defeat him with their bad logic. Ramanuja. He is of firm conviction regarding the meanings taught in the science of the self. Adhyatma Shastra.
Teshu Artheshu Dhrunishya.
Srila Prabhupada. He is not swayed by false arguments, because no one can lead him from the fixed determination of devotional service. Because his senses are controlled, Yatatma, he is determined.
Maya Arpita Manobuddhi.
Maya Arpito Manobuddhihi. The cause of all of this is mentioned. He is absorbed in meditating on and contemplating me. Such a devotee greatly pleases me. Me Priya. Baldev Vidyabhushan. He offers his intelligence and mind to me. My devotee who has such qualities inspires my love for him. Ramanuja. His mind and reason are dedicated to me. That is, his mind and reason are dedicated to me in the form Bhagavan Vasudeva. Alone is propitiated by disinterested activities, and when duly propitiated, he will bring about for me the direct version of the self.
Oh. So how to attain this stage?
How to
Maya
attain?
Arpita Manobuddhi. Yeah, please go on.
Number 1, very rare, but he can be attained by the following the regulative principles of devotional service. Number 2, he is fully conscious that Krishna is the eternal Lord, so no one can disturb him.
Yeah.
Sadhana Bhakti, devotional service in practice. Vaidhi Sadhana Bhakti. Prabhuji, should I read A to
Yeah,
G?
internal things. It's like Sadhana bhakti, devotional service in practice. Krishna consciousness is natural and not an imposition, like that. You can
Okay.
get.
Sadhana Bhakti, devotional service in practice. Krishna consciousness is natural and not an imposition. Example, fire covered by ashes. Example, child mother, magnet nails. Example, child's innate walking ability.
So
Vaidi,
this we have seen, child's innate walking ability. So in everywhere, in us, when we were a child, that time we were not able to walk, but the ability was there. Walking ability is there. So that's why we are now walking it. So it is an innate nature. The Krishna consciousness is also innate in everyone. The fire is covered by the ashes. Like those who are not doing the devotional service, the fire is covered by the ashes. But once you just groom it, once you just blow that the fire, or blow that ashes, and the fire takes a place. So it is innate. The Krishna conscious abilities are there. Krishna conscious practices can be groomed up once it has been given a chance to that person. Vedi sadhana bhakti.
Vaidi Sadhana Bhakti. A. Chant 16 rounds of Hare Krishna mantra and follow 4 regulative principles strictly. B. Follow 64 regulative principles taught in Nectar of Devotion. C. Study and discuss Srila Prabhupada books with devotees. Bodhyanta Parasparam. D. Develop Shastra Chakshu to see the world. E. Sing Vaishnava songs and shlokas with knowledge of meanings. F. Request your senior devotees to award you Krishna Seva and do them. G. Pray to deities begging for Seva opportunity and for spiritual progress. H. Accept all favorable items in Krishna consciousness. I. Reject all unfavorable items in Krishna consciousness. J. Always keep your mind and senses absorbed in relation to Krishna.
Yeah. So this is
A. Along with the performance of desireless action, renunciation, and practice of meditation, every aspirant should also strive towards the development of his virtues. This is essential for God realization. The aspirant souls fit for salvation are indeed intrinsically virtuous. The unfoldment of the intrinsic virtuousness and beauty of the soul itself is salvation according to the scriptures. All our activities in this world should thus either help in the unveiling of the true virtuousness of the soul or be conducive to it. Love,
so it
kindness,
is, yeah. So it
godliness.
is no, this is not required. So how the prema bhakti jaha hoite avidya vinashe jate. So whenever the prem bhakti comes, then the avidya and all other ignorance goes up. So that is the unveiling things. We are trying to unveil the devotional service. So that is when the devotional service gets unveiled, then all the ignorance will be stirred off from ourselves. So that is required to develop the good virtues and develop and to strive for such good virtues, and by that the devotional service will rise it. This is not required. So 12.15 we can start. Yasmanno dvijate loko
Yasmanodvijate loko
lokanno dvijate chayaha
lokanodvijate chaya
harshamarasha bhayoddege mukto yasat me priyaha.
mukto yasame priya.
Somebody can read the link.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, shall I read?
Yes, Hare Krishna.
A link, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. Moreover, it is said, Yasya Yasti Bhakti Bhaktasri.
Yastyasya bhaktir bhagavati akinchana sarve gunaschatra samasate sura.
By this statement, it is understood that other qualities which please the Lord also automatically appear by the constant performance of bhakti to me. Please hear about these 5 verses, describe these qualities.
He for whom no one is put into a difficulty.
And who is not disturbed by anyone.
And who is equipoised in happiness and distress, fear and anxiety. Prahlad Maharaj. Is very dear to me. Text 15. Now this is translation.
Translation 12.15. He who by whom no one is put into difficulty and who is not disturbed by anyone, who is equipoised in happiness and distress, fear and anxiety is very dear to me. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur and Baladev Vidya Bhushan translation. He who does not agitate others, nor is agitated by others, he who is freed from material emotions such as joy, jealousy, fear, and anxiety is dear to me. Srila Prabhupada. Devotee's state of consciousness, kind to everyone, acts in such a way not to put anyone into difficulty, anxiety, fearfulness, or dissatisfaction. Same time, not disturbed if others try to put him into anxiety. Baladev Vidya Bhushan 1. Others do not act to cause distress to him because they know he is not hostile to anyone. 2. Joy, jealousy, fear, and anxiety, causes of disturbance, give him up. He does not have to do anything himself to avoid them.
So this shloka perfectly fits to Prahlad Maharaj in his life.
Ramanuja. That person who is engaged in
Mataji, I feel some lines are coming in my screen.
Yeah. That is, I don't know how to change it.
Yeah.
I think something is wrong. I think
as presenter, you only can remove them, Prabhu.
How to remove? I don't know.
Mataji, you cannot do. Prabhuji only can remove them. Ananta Gopa.
Oh, I'm not able to do that. Okay, whatsoever.
Ramanuja. That person who is engaged in karma yoga does not become the cause of fear to the world. He does nothing to cause fear to the world. Shall I read the Sanskrita this one?
No, not
Prabhu,
required.
maybe just stop sharing and reshare, Prabhu, it might go ahead.
Okay.
I think some child is playing with the phone.
Padma Mataji is using touch screen and yes.
Yeah,
it's a feature in Zoom, Prabhu. So if you touch it, it will draw. I don't know why that should be disabled actually.
Yeah, this is the option actually that can.
Yeah, now you're okay, Prabhu. If you just reshare, full screen.
Link.
Resume slideshow.
Just a minute. Yeah.
Now it is okay. Ramanuja. That person who is engaged in karma yoga does not become the cause of fear fear to the world. He does nothing to cause fear to the world. He has no cause to fear the world. That is, no action on the part of others can cause him fear because of the certainty that he is not inimical to the world. Fourth one. Therefore, he is not in the habit of showing favor towards someone and intolerance towards others. He has no fear of some or repulsion for others.
So there is another example in a Bhagavatam about this shloka. Who is he?
Jadabharata Prabhuji.
Yes. Yes. How is this possible?
How is this possible? By the grace of the Lord. He is always engrossed and engaged in Krishna consciousness, so material circumstances cannot move him. Balle Vidya Bhushan, because he is absorbed in relishing the profundity of Atma, he is not touched by these emotions at all. Contrast consciousness of a materialist. 4 states of consciousness.
Yes.
Happy. One, happy. If something is there for one's own body and sense gratification. Baldev Vidya Bhushan, joy, harsha, means eagerness at the acquisition of something enjoyable for oneself. Second one, sorry and envious. If sees others having the same. One, Baldev Vidya Bhushan, envy, amarsha, means intolerance of others attaining enjoyable items. Third one, fear. When expecting retaliation from an enemy, Baldev Vidya Bhushan, fear, bhaya, is alarm caused by seeing some unfortunate conditions. Fourth one, dejected. When cannot successfully execute something. Baldev Vidya Bhushan, anxiety, udvega, is the disturbance caused by thinking, how can I survive without doing something? A devotee who is always transcendental to all these disturbances is very dear to Krishna.
So this is the consciousness of the materialist. Harsha, Marsha, Bhayodvega. This is shloka is mentioning about. Now this shloka is mentioning this one. Just a minute. What is this shloka? Harsha, Marsha, Bhayodvega. These are the 4 consciousness where it has been mentioned. This is a materialistic way the people are talking about, but it is a devotional way also. 12.16. Anapeksha Suchir Daksha
Anapeksha Suchirdaksha
Udasino Gatavyatha
Udasino Gatavyata
Sarvarambha Parityagi
Sarvarambha Parityagi
Yo Mad Bhakta Same Priyaha.
Yo Mad Bhakta Same Priya.
Yes.
60.
Hare
Go
Krishna.
on reading. Yeah, please. Who is reading?
Yeah, Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Yes.
Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. The qualities mentioned here, being freed from material jubilation, anger, fear, and anxiety, are mentioned again in verse 17 in order to show the difficulty in becoming free from those elements. Money may be offered to a devotee, but he should not struggle to acquire it. It automatically, by the grace of the Supreme, money comes to him. He is not agitated. Bhagavad-Gita 12.16 purport.
This we will not be taking. Translation.
Yeah. Translation from 12.16. My devotee who is not dependent on the ordinary course of activities, who is pure, expert, without cares, free from all pains, and not striving for some result, is very dear to me. Vishwanath Chakravarti Tagore and Baldev Vidyabhushan translation. He who is devoid of expectation from his work is clean, skillful in all situations, detached from other persons, without distress, and who rejects all undertakings is dear to me. Anapeksha, the Prabhupada says. Money may be offered to a devotee, but he should not struggle to acquire it. And if money comes by the grace of the Lord, he is not agitated. With Vishwanath Chakravarti Tagore, devoid of expectations from material work, Baldev Vidyabhushan, without aspirations, nispruha, enjoying what comes of its own accord, and is without expectations. Sridhar Swami, indifferent even to objects come of their own accord. Ramanujacharya, no longing for anything except the self.
Yeah, so it is anapeksha. Daksha then now it is. What is Suchi?
Suchi. Baldev Vidyabhushan and Sridhar Swami. Internal, external purity. Srila Prabhupada takes a bath at least twice in a day and rises early in the morning for devotional service. Ramanujacharya, whose body is nourished on the food prescribed by the Shastras. Daksha. Baldev Vidyabhushan. Skillful, being able on his own to deliberate on the meaning of the scriptures. Sridhar Swami, not lazy. Srila Prabhupada, fully knows the essence of all activities of the life and he is convinced of the authoritative scriptures. Ramanujacharya, expert in performing actions prescribed in the Shastras.
So, as per Ramanuja, the Suchi is whose body is nourished on the food prescribed by the Shastras. That person is Suchi. Very rarely brought out the meaning like this. Who is eating the Krishna Prasadam? He is the Suchi. And Ramanuja is saying Daksha means expert in performing actions prescribed in the Shastra. Shastra Vidhi, who is doing a Shastra Vidhi. And that personality is a Daksha. So very wonderful meaning. Udasina.
Udasina, Vishwanath Chakravarti Tagore, unattached to material persons. Baldev Vidyabhushan and Sridhar Swami, neutral, not taking sides. Srila Prabhupada, a devotee never takes the part of a particular party, therefore he is carefree. Ramanujacharya, indifferent to those matters not enjoined in the Shastras. Gatavyata, Baldev Vidyabhushan, without distress, even though wronged by others. Srila Prabhupada knows that this body is a designation, therefore free from the pains of the body. Ramanujacharya, free from agony, that means of pain caused by heat, cold, contact with coarse things, etc., which are inevitably associated with the performance of rites prescribed by the Shastras.
So these are the qualities which we should aspire for. Udasina, unattached with the material persons, and not taking the sides. This means what? Not having the politicalness. He is right, he is wrong. But sometimes, as per our nature, we take a side. But that doesn't mean there will be a personal conflict with that person who is not in our side. The people, those who are doing a management, they have to take one side. They have to give decisions. That doesn't mean that they are not in favor of that personality, but they are not in favor of that mentality. It is not a personality culprit or something, but it is a mentality where that thought process we are condemning, and we are saying that this thought process is not good. We are not having inimicalness towards that person. Sarvarambha Parityagi.
Sarvarambha Parityagi, Baldev Vidyabhushan, does not make any attempts which are contrary to his practice of devotion. Sridhar Swami, habitually giving up all endeavors bearing visible or invisible results. Ramanujacharya renounces all undertaking except those demanded by the Shastras. Srila Prabhupada endeavors only for the Krishna. Does not endeavor for anything contrary to the principles of devotional service. Example, constructing a big building requires a lot of time and energy. He won't do if it does not benefit in his Krishna consciousness. For the Lord, ready to build a temple and take any kind of anxiety, but not for personal sake.
So, Sarvarambha Parityagi does not make any attempts which are contrary to his practice of devotional service. Sometimes one particular devotee was having beer bar, this initial stage. He was running a beer bar. He was practicing the devotional service. And he used to ask his spiritual master, Maharaj, I am having this, whether I should go on with that activity. That time, his spiritual master quoted this sloka, Sarvarambha Parityagi, that whatever it is contrary to his practice of the devotional service, one should not do it. One should not do. No, but Prabhuji, I am not, Maharaj, I am not drinking, but you are distributing. Better to have some other profession where somebody is having this tea stall. It is all right because it is not that much severe activity. But somebody is having the non-veg hotel. Prabhu, I have 16 rounders, but I'm having this business. Better we can shift to the pure vegetarian hotel or some other businesses. It is not that whatever our philosophy we are practicing in our life and whatever our activities we are doing, it should match. 12.17. Yona rishyati nadveshti.
Yona rishyati nadveshti.
Na shochati na kankshati.
Na shochati na kankshati.
Shubha shubha parityagi.
Shubha parityagi.
Bhakti manya same priya.
Bhakti manya same priya.
Yeah. One who neither rejoices nor grieves, who neither laments nor desires, and who renounces both auspicious and inauspicious things, such a devotee is very dear to me. Next. This chart we will not take. Translation, somebody can read.
Translation 12.17. One who neither rejoices nor grieves, who neither laments nor desires, and who renounces both auspicious and inauspicious things, such a devotee is very dear to me. Shall I continue, Prabhuji?
Yeah, please.
Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur translation. A devotee who neither rejoices or hates, neither laments nor hankers, who gives up all sinful and pious actions is dear to me. Baldev Vidyabhushan translation. A devotee who neither rejoices or hates, neither laments nor hankers, who gives up all the sinful and pious actions is dear to me.
Yeah. Shri Prabhupada, Narishyati na dveshti. Please go on reading.
Yeah. A pure devotee is neither happy nor distressed over material gains and loss, nor he is very much anxious to get a son or disciple, nor he is distressed by not getting them. Baldev Vidyabhushan, Ramanujacharya, and and Sridhar Swami. He does not rejoices at gaining dear things, Bhushan, such as sons are students. He does not show hatred on attaining what is disagreeable.
Who is that personality here? The king Chitraketu, who got a son whose name was Harshashoka. He was previously desiring to have a son, but the Lord told that it is like you will be if you are having a son, within few months or within few years, he will be passing away from you. But Maharaj says that no. Anyway, actually, if you can just award me a son, and the son's name was the Harshashoka, and he became the cause of it, Harsha and Ashoka also. When he took birth, Chitraketu Maharaj was very joyful, and when immediately he died after a few months, then it was a cause of his lamentation. Na shochati na kankshati.
Shochati na kankshati. If he loses anything which is very dear to him, he does not lament. Similarly, if he does not get what he desires, he is not distressed. Baldev Vidyabhushan. He does not lament on the destruction of what is dear to him. He does not anchor for what he does not have. Ramanuja.
Don't read the shloka.
Who is not grieved by common sorrows which cause grief among men, as the loss of wife, son, fortunate, etc. Who does not desire anything like wife, son, fortune, etc., not ready acquired by him.
So what exactly does that mean? See, what exactly does that mean? One should not cry. Who is not grieved by the common sorrows which cause grief among men, as the loss of wife, son, fortune, etc. So one should not lament. One should not cry for the dear ones' loss. What is your understanding?
We should cry, but we should not think on the bodily platform. Actually, we should cry because of whatever relationship we have with him. That maybe because of that we may be crying, but we have to understand that the soul aspect and his soul is eternal, and that is the way we can understand.
Yes, wonderful. Thank you, Prabhu. Shubha Shubha Parityagi.
Yeah. He is transcendental in the face of all kinds of auspicious, inauspicious, and sinful activities. He is prepared to accept all kinds of risk for the satisfaction of Supreme Lord. Nothing is an impediment in the discharge of his devotional service. Baldev Vidyabhushan Ramanuja. He has given up both the piety and sin because they are both causes of bondage.
Somebody can tell this pastime, or who is that personality? Sorry?
No problem.
वाला स्टोरी है जो कुएं में रहता है, कृष्णा निकाल के उसको वो करते हैं।
हाँ बोल दे।
इनको क्या बोलते हैं? मुझे
उनका नाम था गुरु
Think Nrika Prabhu.
Sorry?
Nrika or someone king. One king will be there.
Nigra King Prabhu ji.
Please take a photograph and send me the message or WhatsApp on the group.
King Nrika.
Who is saying what answer? You can just repeat.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Nrika NRG.
Yeah. Wonderful. Thank you. So these are the photos for that. 12.18 and 19. Samashatro cha mitre cha
Samasatro cha mitre cha
tatha manapamanayo
tata manapamanayo
shitoshna sukha dukkheshu
sitoshna
samasanga vivarjita
tamasanga vivarjita
tulya ninda sutirmoni
tulya
santushto yena kenachit
santushto yena kenachit
aniketa mate
aniketa
Rammate
bhaktiman me priyo nara.
bhaktiman
me priyo nara.
This flow chart we will not be taking. Yeah, translation. Please.
Shall I continue, Prabhuji, or somebody is reading?
Somebody else is interested to read.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. One who is equal to friend and enemies, who is equiposed in honor to dishonor, heat and cold, happiness and distress, fame and infamy, who is always free from contaminating association, always silent and satisfied with anything, who doesn't care for any residence, who is fixed in knowledge and who is engaged in devotional service. Such a person is very dear to me. Baldev Vidyabhushan translation. The devotee who is equal to enemy and friend, equal in respect or disrespect, in cold or heat, happiness or distress, who does not associate with materialistic person, who is equal in criticism or praise, controlled in speech, satisfied with whatever is there, who is unattached to his house and convinced in his knowledge, is dear to me. Baldev Vidyabhushan. The meaning of the first part of the verse is clear. Srila Prabhupada Sangha Varjita. A devotee is always free from all bad association. Second, Tulya Nidha Stuti. A always transcendental to artificial fame and infamy. Distress or happiness, nature of material world. Sometimes praise, sometimes infamy. Third, Moni. He does not speak of anything but the topic about Krishna, therefore he is called silent. Silent does not mean that one should not speak. Silent means that one should not speak or speak nonsense. One should speak only of essential and the most essential speech for the devotee is to speak for the sake of the Supreme Lord. Baldev Vidyabhushan. He is controlled in speech or is contemplating only his Lord.
So Moni is not just he is silent. He is not only a silent Baba, but he is speaking about Krishna only. So this Moni concept in our life we should try to adopt more. Our energy goes on speaking for many subject matters. Shrotavyadini Rajendram Nranam Santi Sahasrasha Apashyata Mataratvam Gruheshu Gruhamedinam. One should not become a Gruhamedhi. There are n number of topics one can discuss in a house. Shrotavyadini Rajendram Nranam Santi Sahasrasha. Thousands of topics are there for discussion. Apashyatam Atmadatvam. But if that topics are not in relation with the Krishna, it is not actually about the Atma Tattva, then that personality, if that personality is talking about these topics, which is not about the Atma Tattva, then that personality is called as a Grihamedhi, not been called as a Grihastha. So one should be very much careful about this, whichever the ashram one may be in, Brahmachari, Grihastha, Vanaprastha or Sannyas, one should always have this mood that whether I am talking, which is much required to talk. So how in a company we can talk? We cannot do a Krishna Katha there. We cannot say that, oh, such a wonderful pastime of Krishna. But whatever it is required to talk about in a company, unnecessary topics of the politics, whatever, or unnecessary topics about the so-called religiosity. But if it is not required, then we can just keep mum. And whenever to develop some extent friendship with the others, that time only we can just hear from them, not to speak about the politics, but whatever they are just speaking to us, it is the information for us, and we can just take that information and filter out whatever it is required, what it is not required. So it is required. The Moni aspect in a devotional life is much required. Santushta.
Hare Krishna. Santushta, a devotee is happy in all conditions. Sometimes he may get very palatable.
I just would like to ask you the question that this Santushta, we have seen it, na?
Yes, please.
Again, why Krishna is speaking about this Santushtana? Very, very important quality. So that's why Krishna is repeating that.
Shall I read, Prabhu?
Yeah.
A devotee is happy in all conditions. Sometimes he may get very palatable foodstuffs, sometimes not, but he is satisfied. Baldev Vidya Bhushan, he is satisfied with whatever comes by fate, whether it is coarse or agreeable, such as food. Sridhar Swami, satisfied with anything, with whatever is obtained. Okay. Anikita, nor does he care for any residential facility. He may sometimes live underneath a tree, and he may sometimes live in a very palatable building. He is attracted to neither. Baldev Vidya Bhushan. He has no fixed residency or devoid of the illusion arising from possessing a house. Sridhar Swami, without a home, having no fixed shelter. Sitara Matir. He is Sitar Matir. He is called Sir Matir. Okay, he is called fixed because he is fixed in his determination and knowledge.
So this photograph, this picture, who is that personality? His name also as an analogy comes in 4th chapter. Krishna gives the analogy of that. One example only is Krishna speaks with the name in the Gita. Who is that famous personality? Krishna has not spoken any name with the example in a Gita.
Janak Maharaj.
Yeah, and what is the pastime here? And which quality Janak Maharaj resembles? What is the pastime?
But being
Renunciation.
What is this above picture says?
Oh, what control of mind, what concentration.
Prabhuji, I think it's Sri Rama for the Swayamvara.
No.
Narada carrying the oil, he was given this task of.
No. That is a Janak Maharaj himself is carrying. the pot. And he is, sorry.
It's Shukdev Goswami. Hanuman Janak Maharaj Parikshit.
After the yagna, he will.
Janak Maharaj and Shukdev Goswami.
Payasam carrying.
Through the area of the naked women, and his coat was intact. That was a test. Why repetition of the qualities?
Baldev Vidya Bhushan, why repetition of qualities? There is no fault in the repetition of qualities listed in these 7 words, as the purpose of repetition is to show the great rarity of these qualities. Srila Prabhupada, repetition is just to emphasize the fact that a devotee must acquire all this qualification. Without good qualification, one cannot be a pure devotee. Harav abhyatyasa kunto maha guna. One who wants to be recognized as a devotee should develop the good qualification. One doesn't extraneously endeavor to develop the qualification. Practice of Krishna consciousness automatically helps in developing them. Madhava, when something is repeated, its more important is being asserted to emphasize its value and to remind his devotees that renunciation of the desire for reward is essential.
So this santushta is repeated, so that's why it is the same. Okay, this we will not take now. The last shloka is there. Now we will be finishing today only. So whatever time takes to complete, you please be there with us. Now I will try my best to finish within time. 10 to 15 minutes it will take extra, maybe. Ye tu dharma amrutam midam. Yathoktam paryupasate. Shraddhana matparama. Bhaktoste me priyaha. Please read.
Read, Prabhuji.
Yes, Mataji.
The impersonal conception of the Supreme Absolute Truth, as described in this chapter, is recommended only up to the time one surrenders himself for self-realization. In other words, as long as one does not have the chance to associate with a pure devotee, the impersonal conception may be beneficial. Bhagavad-Gita 12.20 purport. Link. Ramanuja. Showing the superiority of Bhakti Nishtha over Atma Nishtha, Shri Krishna now concludes in accordance with what is stated at the beginning of this chapter in verse 2. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, summarizing the qualities fixed in various types of his devotees, which he has just mentioned, the Lord now describes the result of hearing and deliberating on these qualities by devotees desirous of obtaining all these qualities.
So what is the verse number 2 in this chapter? Somebody can read that and with the translation.
Maya Veshya Manoye. That one? Yeah.
Maya Vesha Manoye Mam Nitya Yukta Upasate Shraddhaya Paryopetasте me yuktotama mataha. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, those who fix their minds on my personal form and are always engaged in worshipping me with great and transcendental faith are considered by me to be most perfect. Correct.
So Krishna again comes to this point. Yeah. And who completely engage themselves with faith, making me the supreme goal. So this is 12.2. Again, Krishna is emphasizing in a different words. One man who has established and who made so many temples in 12 years are very dear to me. Okay, this one can read. Dearest of all is one who makes Krishna as the goal of his life. They follow this imperishable path of devotional service. Make Krishna as the supreme goal of their life. Completely engage themselves with the faith. And profound example is Srila Prabhupada. Please go on reading this one.
5 practices that awakens love for Krishna. 1. Associate with devotees. 2. Chant the holy names of the Lord. 3. Hear Srimad Bhagavatam. 4. Recited Dhama, Mathura. 5. Perform deity worship. Chaitanya Charitam. Shall I read that also, Prabhu?
No, not required. Please read this.
Translation 12.20. Those who follow this imperishable path of devotional service and who completely engage themselves with faith, making me the supreme goal, are very, very dear to me. Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur, Baldev Vidyabhushan translation. But those devotees who completely take up the nectar of these qualities just taught, who are full of faith and most devoted, are most dear to me. Srila Prabhupada, summary, the glories of devotional service. Bhakti, the best process. Process of transcendental service for approaching Krishna have been explained from Bhagavad-Gita 12.2 to 20. These processes very dear to the Lord. He accepts a person engaged in them. Supreme Personality of Godhead replied Arjuna's query. Devotional service is to Supreme Personality of Godhead is best of all paths. How to attain that? Good association, attachment of for pure devotional service, accepting Guru, hearing, chanting, following regulative principles with faith, attachment and devotion. What about impersonal realization? Impersonal realization is beneficial only till the time one surrenders or till the time one has not associated with the devotee. It is step-by-step realization towards Nishkama Karma, towards Jnana, towards meditation. One Krishna consciousness does not need to go step by step. One need not bother about materials to keep body and soul together, because by the grace of the Lord, everything is carried out automatically. Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur. These qualities are not material. Since these qualities arise from sense control, Shanti, Santi, mentioned in verse 12, which is in turn arise from Bhakti, there are thus not material qualities. Reference. Bhaktya Tushyat. Okay.
Not required that.
Such statements are innumerable in scriptures. Those desiring to attain all qualities are superior. Tu here indicates differentiation. The various devotees previously mentioned were fixed in their individual natures with certain qualities. But those practitioners who desire all of the qualities of all of the types of devotees are superior to those just mentioned, who have attained only some of the qualities. Therefore, the word ativa, surpassingly, is used. Such devotees who take up all the qualities are even dearer to me. Note, pariyupasate means to completely take up.
So these qualities are not the material, and these qualities one should aspire or desire to attain. Becoming dear to Krishna, no. Gist of 12th chapter.
Gist of 12th chapter. Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur. The astonishing qualities of bhakti, which is supreme and blissful, whose goal can be attained by all and which is easy to perform, have been explained in this chapter. Though it has been shown that jnana is bitter, like Nima fruit, and bhakti is sweet like grapefruit, still these two processes are taken up their respective followers who crave that particular taste.
So jnana is mentioned in a 12.12 some extent, and 12.8 mentions about the pure devotion service. Yeah.
Arasajna kakakushe jnana nimba fale rasajna ko kilakhaya premara premamra mukule, the mango and cuckoo. Translation: Ramananda Rai continued, those who are devoid of all transcendental mellows are like the crows, just suck the juice from the bitter fruits of Nimba tree of knowledge, whereas those who enjoy mellows are like the cuckoos who eat the buds of the mango tree of love of Godhead.
So it is a comparison between the jnana and the devotional service again. Yeah.
Baldev Vidyabhushan. Krishna is controlled by the persons devoted to him alone and by the persons devoted solely to the process of bhakti dedicated to him. The most beautiful Krishna is conquered completely by love. This has been explained in the 12th chapter. Sridhar Swami. The way of unmanifest is difficult and attained with many obstacles. Therefore, the wise man should take to the easier and more noble path of devotion to the lotus feet of Sri Krishna.
Oh, this is not required, and here we are ending. So I hope that the last section I took it to be somewhat fast, but I was in hurry to finish it on time also. So that's why. But this slides I will be sharing with you. You can go through, and the word documents also I will be sharing with you. That is somewhat exhaustive, where you can relish it after this Bhakti Shastri, that whenever you are interested to study Gita in detail, that time you can go through this, and it will be helping for your preaching also. Hope that whatever I endeavored from my side, it was nourishing to you, and it was helping you. Whatever the mistakes while teaching I did, please forgive me for that. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Jai Gaur Premanande. Hari Hari Bol.
Hari Hari Bol.
Thank you,
Hare
Prabhuji.
Krishna.
Thank you very much.
Hare Krishna.